Hello, colleagues. I am here today to go through a little bit of how Kahoot works. This is the Kahoot for Schools page. The page you go to might look a little bit different depending on how you get there if you go to kahoot.it. But you can just search your favorite search engine for Kahoot and find it. I'm going to go ahead and log in here. And I recommend you actually, when you sign up with your Google account, because that just makes life easier. I didn't, and somehow now I can't connect it. So you'll notice that in the menu at the top over there, because my screen is mirrored, it offers Home, Discover, Kahoots, Reports, and Groups. So this is the home page, right? Discover is where you can find Kahoots that other people have already made, which is really fantastic because, why reinvent the wheel if someone else already invented it? This button for Kahoots will take me to the Kahoots that I have made. You can see I'm connected to La Follette High School. I'm not exactly sure how that specifically happened, but these are the Kahoots that I myself have made, or have, in some cases, possibly copied from someone else who made them, because you can duplicate other people's Kahoots and bring them on into your own world, which is fantastic. You will also notice that there is a shared with me link here, and no one has specifically shared Kahoots with me, so I'm actually surprised that this one showed up. Apparently 3 years ago, someone, I guess, did share something with me. So you can share things with your colleagues. Okay. Reports is used after you've played. Look, there's new reports. So you can see that I played this game 5 times because I made all my students learn how language learning happens this year. And so it's a finished game, and I can open the report and see how my 25 players perform. Since I was at the report page, I opened the report so you could see what that is. It tells me the name of the game, gives me a summary that I had 25 players, 12 questions, took 25 minutes, so about 2 minutes per question, which was good because I gave a lot of information after the questions. Some of them were poll type questions or survey questions like, what makes you most nervous about this class? And then I gave some options. So it says 60% correct. There were only 4 of the 12 questions that actually had correct answers, and one of them was a trick question. So I'm not worried about that. But had this been a Kahoot about things that they've learned, this would actually be really, really helpful for me to notice, like, wow, like, what did the class get wrong? If only 60% of the answers are correct, they're clearly not ready for the test, or they're trying to answer so quickly they're not reading the questions. And so you can see that this question was difficult. Only 12% of kids got it correct, which makes sense because it's the confusing trick question one. These students, they say, need help, and these are not my students' names. There is a feature in Kahoot that I'm sure I'll mention again later where you can have it just automatically give you like safe nicknames, so you're not finding someone who's joining your class named like Hugh Jass or something like that. All those names Bart Simpson calls the bar looking for. And so I did that just to be quicker about getting kids into the game. So I actually don't know who those 3 kids are, which is why that's not a good thing unless you somehow have the kids send you what name they played under, because otherwise it's just a random adjective and a random animal. There were 18 kids that did not finish, which means they did not answer all the questions. What a shock, engagement is an issue. I can see who all the players were and their percentages of correct and how many questions they left unanswered. And this is all the players. It can be the need help and the didn't finish. I can then look at each question. Okay, this was a poll, so there is no right or wrong answer, but you know what? 88% of kids got number 3 correct. And then I didn't get any feedback because I didn't ask for feedback. So yeah, there you go. So I'm going to go through really quickly how to create a Kahoot and then how to steal other people's work. Okay, above my head was a button that said create. So it's a pretty good chance that's where you go to create a Kahoot. And so they've got, you can create and teach interactive lessons, teach with slides, do formative assessment, practice spelling and adjectives, student selfie Kahoot, or just create one from scratch. I've never, and actually I guess they've got more templates here, introduce new topics with a blind Kahoot and get to know your teacher. So these are templates that have some questions and suggested like types of questions and hey, here's where you can put a slide, things like that in them. I've never used any of the templates, so I'm not going to walk anyone through that, but I mean, I'm assuming if they give you a template, it probably does make life easier. I'm just going to create a new Kahoot. Okay. And so we'll start out with the traditional Kahoot type of a question, which is a multiple choice 4-answer question. So I'm just going to say, what month is it? You can drag and drop images from your own library. You can upload an image. You can find a link to YouTube. Image library is actually, I should say, their image library. So I'm asking about month. I can select that image and it will just pop that image right into my question here. And so you can, you know, edit some options of the image if you'd like, that it'll like bit by bit appear. Or you can just have the image. And so answer, January. You can add an image to that if you want. And then you check here if the answer is correct. I'm going to say August, same, October, or May. Since I'm assuming that this is going to be something that comes up in October, I'm going to go with that now, even though I'm actually making this in September, so hopefully this doesn't completely blow anyone's mind. And then you click that to say that it is the right answer. And I have it set for single select, meaning there's one right answer. You can have a multi-select option, so you could do something that has 2 of the 4 or 3 of the 4 answers correct. It's nice because I know a lot of people hate those. All of these are correct except questions. So now you can just say check everything that is correct. Okay, so question bank is actually where it's going to pull other questions from because it's going to think it knows what you're talking about. So I've never used that because it never knows what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to add a question. And quiz is the first type of question, like the one we just created. Doesn't actually mean it has to be a quiz. It just means it's a multiple choice question with right and wrong answers. Okay. You can also make true or false questions. Obviously, it's a 2-question thing. And you can change, I believe, the true and false. Maybe not. Yeah, you can't edit true or false. Type an answer. You'll notice this little crown here. That is a premium feature. So if you have not upgraded to a premium Kahoot membership, you can't have that type of question. Puzzle asks players to place answers in the correct order. And so you do need to go and type them in this order. So I'm just going to go first, second, third, fourth. Right. And again, you can have it put an image in there. Honestly, I like to do an image just because it's pretty. I'm going to trash this empty question because we don't need it. And add another question, which is a poll. There are no correct answers. You can have students single or multi-select. Right, so what do you like most? And it's going to give some suggestions. It pulled out the word pizza, so that's kind of where it went. I'll just go with this one. Some subliminal power of suggestion. The last thing you can do is you can add a slide, right? And what's nice is you can add a slide on its own or import slides. And so you can upload the file if you have a premium account. So you cannot do it otherwise. But if you are going to add a slide on your own, you can start typing a title and text. If you have a slide that's in Google Slides, or if it's in PowerPoint or Keynote or one of those, put the title in the title thing here on this page, any text that you need, keeping it as short as possible there. I can't change the background color unless you're a premium member. And then you can actually save a slide from either Google Slides or PowerPoint or whatever. You can save that slide as an image and upload that image into the Kahoot. So I would take the title off of that, take the text off of it, and type those on this Kahoot slide, just because then the image, like whatever image you have in the middle, stays the correct size. But I'm going to upload an image from my computer, and I'm just going to go with, actually, here, let me pull up a slide that I've actually used in class. So you can see that this is an image of my slide. I probably could have taken these titles and things off, thrown it up in the title bar here before I save the image, and then like the rest of my image could actually be larger. So that's pretty much it. You just have to give the Kahoot a title. I'm going to call it test. This is a test, right? If you want to make it public and other people can find it, then you want to give a description that's going to have keywords in it. You can save it to My Kahoots. You can also save it right to La Follette High School. If you think other places at La Follette are going to want to use it, that way if you're making a Kahoot for your team, right, no worries. You can have a video playing when students are joining games. So if you want to have a YouTube link, you can. You can brand it at La Follette High School if you are a premium member. What language it's in, and it's got them all. Visible only to you or to everyone. I'm going to click only me because it's just a test. And the lobby music, you can have all sorts of different tunes playing, you know. So you can do that. When you are done with this, and I'm going to exit this Kahoot, it should take me back to, right, this is my drafts. I didn't publish it, so I'm not going to deal with that. But you go to My Kahoots, find a Kahoot you want to do. I'm just going to click on this one here about whatever it was about, something about culture and AP language. And I click play, and you've got two ways that you can have this work. And both are available even if you're not a premium member. Teach means you're going to play it live. You'll share your screen. They will play along with it during class. Assign means they're going to play at home, kind of at their own pace, and try and accumulate points. So you'll still be able to declare a winner in that, but it's a little more student-paced. If you assign it, you can give the due date, due time. Do you want a timer on the questions, or do they get all the time they need? Should you randomize the order answer? Do you want it to generate nicknames? And, obviously there is up to 1,000 players of a limit. If you choose to play live during class, it gives you some options. I would say player versus player is probably what's going to work best. Team mode is a little bit trickier when you can't be in the same physical space with your team. So I would just do classic mode for now. The nice thing about team mode is they expect teams to discuss. So the question comes up, and then there's I don't know if it's 5 seconds of wait time before the answers appear, which does help eliminate the idea of kids just quick pressing the answer to try and be the fastest, and who knows if it's right. Sometimes this game option menu you can see is closed now. You definitely want to open that. So this personalized learning option, it's a premium feature, but allows you to have students practice the difficult questions, whatever you got wrong, after the game is over. So here's a catch up of what you got wrong. That friendly nickname generator, that's where I mentioned it came up with things like, Shady Badger, or whatever it was. You turn that off, and then kids enter their own names. The bonus is you know who the kids are, usually. The downside is, you might get inappropriate names. The lobby music, I would go with the original, but you can certainly choose whichever thing you want. Randomize the order of questions if they're not in any particular order, kind of shuffles them up. Randomize the order of the answers. I leave this on all the time because then I can just always make A as I'm typing it the right answer. And then I randomize it so it's not always just green, 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 green. Minimize intro instructions, that's up to you. Two-step join is something that is helpful if you're playing live in class and your kids are sharing the code and you're getting hundreds of people spamming your game trying to join because kids think they're clever, so they put it out on Snapchat, here's the Kahoot code. This one requires students to actually be looking at the screen, and there will be, in addition to the game code, another thing that they have to put in, and that will rotate through on the screen. So there generally isn't time for them to push the code out and that extra thing, because it has to be what's on the screen the minute you hit submit. I have used that with classes in the past that have had difficulty containing themselves. Automatically move through questions. It's just, do you click next or does the game auto run? And rejoin after every game. If you play more than once, do you make the kids sign in again or do they stay signed in? I think that is everything you possibly would need to know to get started with Kahoot. Please feel free to let me know if there are any questions. I'm happy Kahooting.